What is your MMO of 2013? That is the question today. 2013 is like the year of the MMO. There's so many coming out. So we're going to go over a few and we're going to see, what I think about it. You guys can tell me in the comments what you're, because some people choose these crazy MMOs that I've never even heard of. Towelliee, are you excited for a Transformers universe and the repopulation? I'm like, what the fuck is that? Anyway, let's get to it. So we have our normal World of Warcraft. World of Warcraft, they lost 1.3 million subscribers. They anticipate they're going to lose even more toward the end of the year. But that's kind of basic going toward the end of any expansion. Obviously, BlizzCon comes, they announce something new, more people come, etc., 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 right? So we have World of Warcraft. What we have left right now is the Siege of Orgrimmar, which is, killing Garrosh or making Garrosh normal again because he's corrupted by something. I'm not good with the lore, whatever. And WoW looks, always to have something to do. They always have the content. They always have the raids, the old school raids, the new school raids. They always come out with something new. There's lots to do. Everything from challenge modes to scenario to now there's going to be heroic scenarios to raids to LFR to PvP battlegrounds arenas. There's just a lot to do in WoW, and we all know that. Now let's take a look at some other games. Star Wars: The Old Republic in 2013. They just came out with that new expansion, The Rise of the Hutt Cartel. I kind of played it for like 10 minutes and I kind of shut it off. I feel like Star Wars just left a bad taste in my mouth, especially, with the server transfer stuff, not allowing us to choose where we want to transfer our characters. So that ended up really fucking me over at the time, because my entire guild left to like a Fat Man server or something, and I'm stuck on this server with nobody to play with. And now I am on a server with people to play with, but it's just that bad taste. Ilum, the PvP, the rated war zones took so long to implement. I just didn't feel like, I wanted to go back to that. And a lot of the community that I play with, they share the same sentiment, but there's still a lot of people that I know that play the game. Rift. Now, Rift came out with the expansion in Storm Legion. I thought it was pretty awesome. I think that launching with 3 raids, 10-man raids, 20-man raids, these instant adventures, now they have Chronicles. Rift is going to be going free to play June 12th, which is big for them. Hopefully people catch on. I mean, there's so much to do. Like I said, there's dungeons, there's the heroic dungeons, there's raids, there's actually content. Like, I would hold Rift second to WoW, in my opinion, because of the content in there. And they have the Chronicles, which are like the single man scenarios, and then they have a lot of PvP conquests, dailies. And I think Rift is going to be a pretty powerful force in the MMO community in 2013. I think with their free-to-play model, which is actually, free-to-play, they've said it over and over again, there's no way you can pay for the best gear in the game. It's just not possible. You have to earn it, you have to grind that PvP, you have to go get to those raid bosses. There's no one's going to just say, here, buy Rex points, and then, boom, everything is yours. That's not what's going to happen. So we have Rift. Let's take a look at a few others coming up. We have WildStar. I just made a video about WildStar. I like their PvP. I like that tanks are going to be viable in their PvP. I like that tanks are going to be defenders and attackers. I like the whole respawn. Every team in arenas has a certain amount of respawns. That makes tanks even more powerful, because if they're hard to kill, then they're not going to be the ones targeted, but then they can also dish shit out, cause trouble, cause mayhem. Love it. The housing sounds insane. Love it. The war plots, don't know too much about it, but we'll see what happens with the war plots. 20-man raids, 40-man raids, big on movement, mining ore that comes to life as a monster and wants to fuck you in the face. WildStar's looking pretty good too. Age of Wushu, huge overseas, Korea, China, whatever, 10 million users. Is it doing the same in the US? It's doing okay. But Age of Wushu is it's like an open sandbox PvP game. PvE is there, but not just as good as games like Rift and WoW and WildStar and other games like that are going to have great PvE. Neverwinter. Neverwinter is both a great game and a little bit of a disappointment. It's amazing because the leveling is cool, the dungeons are cool, the combat is awesome, but having to pay or to respec. Once again, let's make this clear. You can choose to pay to get the best gear in the game in Neverwinter. Why? For some reason, their epic tier 2 dungeons, the epic drops are BOE. Yeah, they're BOE. I don't eat. Okay, let's say I hit 60. Let's say I go to the Zen store, right? The Zen store. Let's say I purchase $200 worth of Zen. Translate that to about, whatever, 5-6 million Astral Diamonds. I can literally, in 1 week, purchase on the auction house my best in slot gear as a tank and then just not play anymore without even touching a dungeon. Without even touching a dungeon. Yeah. Crazy, right? I find that to be weird. Is that pay to win? Kind of. Do you have to do it? No. You choose to do it, just like any other pay to win game. But like I said, the difference between Rift and Neverwinter is in Neverwinter, you have that choice to have the best gear in the game with your own money. Rift, you can't do that. Rift, you can't pay for the best gear in the game. Unless you like pay a guild to run you through shit, but that's illegal. Let's take a look at a few others. I don't know if I would consider DayZ standalone in MMO. I guess they kind of are. It kind of is, but I don't know what I would consider that, but we're all waiting for that. There's other games. Arcage, I've heard of Arcage. I think people are talking about Arcage. Never played it myself. Blade and Soul, I've seen the video with like the fucking flapping titties and then just the fucking, you know, the big badunkadunk asses jumping around. Elder Scrolls Online. Man, Elder Scrolls Online. I saw the leaked video. I saw leaked footage. I wasn't impressed. I mean, I like Oblivion. Didn't like Skyrim, even though they're kind of like the same game. But I'm just not a fan of the whole, you know, like left click for, you know, attack, hold left click for stronger attack, and then fucking, you know, right click to block and shit. Like, I don't like those kind of games. And I like the UI, very simplistic. You have just like 5 buttons. You know, rumors are that they're not going to have raids. Like, I'm talking about, like, instanced raids, like dungeons and shit. Like, maybe they'll have world bosses, but are they going to have raids? Are they going to have tanks? They are going to have tanks, but how tanky are they going to be? I don't have that much information. Their PvP, though, seems pretty awesome. Like, it's kind of like Guild Wars 2 PvP, but times 100. So we have Guild Wars 2 next with the expansion. Me, I don't like the game. I never have. If I can't tank in a game, I don't like the game. That's just my opinion. You have your fucking opinion. I have mine. If I can't tank, I don't care. That's just the way it is. Plain and simple. If I can find a way to tank and make it effective, I'll try. Even though you can use different specs or different feats and whatever to make yourself tanky, to me that's not tanky. Like Neverwinter tanks are broken, but I know they're supposed to be tanks, so I wait it out. Ooh, Final Fantasy XIV Realm Reborn. Now, I say on my live stream a lot, Final Fantasy XIV is basically like nothing like 11. Not at all. Not even like the first version of 14. They basically WoWanized and Americanized the game. The GCD for your cooldowns used to be 4 seconds. I think now it's actually down to 1.5 or 2 seconds, so it's a little more speedier combat. You know, the questing, they have world bosses that are really fucking tough. They have these fate encounters in random towns where you can just join in and just start obliterating like little mini monsters that come into your town. And sometimes you can't even do the quest in your town until you clear the monsters out, shit like that. One character can do every class, every job, everything. So I'm gonna go for a paladin / warrior tank, which means I have to go like, I think up to level 30 or 25 as a gladiator. Then I got to do like a healer or something. What are the healers' names? I don't know. I got to play a healer to level 15, and then I unlock the paladin quest, and then I can be a paladin tank, and then I level to max level, and then I'm a paladin tank by switching weapons and shit. But Final Fantasy XIV is definitely like, you know, caught up to the times, and, you know, kind of like the WoW questing style. And they also have a lot of open world shit. They have their raids, they have their dungeons, and they have just a lot of content prepared. And I'm also excited about that game, but they are probably going to be, you know, pay to play. So you're going to have to pay a monthly fee. Firefall. I'm not sure if Game of Thrones is still making their MMO. Don't know. Yeah, and then there's these games like Scarlet Blade. Scarlet Blade is the titty game. You know, basically big robotic mech titties. Not sure if people are playing that one. Transformers Universe. Never. I've heard a little bit about it. Phantasy Star Online 2. That could make a pretty big comeback. I played Phantasy Star for the Dreamcast. I'm not sure how good 2 is going to be or who's going to be involved. Sometimes, you know, the old community comes back to play the game, and then that's all that's there. We have Dragon Prophet, which is a Sony published game, I think. Prophet, Dragon Prophet. Basically, like, you have like a dragon pet with you. He's like your pet at all times, and you fight other dragons and you defend the world. I don't know. I'm part of the beta. I just haven't played it yet. And if I missed any, let me know. But if I were to say Towellee's MMO of 2013, I would definitely, as usual, hold WoW at the top. And then I would put WoW, Rift, and then insert here Final Fantasy XIV, then WildStar probably tied for third. If Rift doesn't pan out too well and people just don't accept it, like I said, sometimes I consider MMOs kind of like, you know, trying to cure a plague or like a disease. You know, you give the antidote to the person, and their body is either going to accept it or reject it. They're going to accept the change and get better, or they're going to reject the change, and then they're just going to spit it right back out. And, well, I don't really want the person to die or in aura. You know what I'm saying, right? So, kind of like MMOs. Like, people are either going to play Rift, accept it, know that there's a lot of content and good rating and good shit to be done, or they're going to just reject it and go back to WoW or something. And, like I said, you know, people nowadays, their main excuse for not playing new MMOs is, well, there's nothing else that's new, you know. In terms of, like, new style of play, I think probably WildStar has the newest things to do. Because they've taken everything that other MMOs have done, but with a twist, with extra little things, which I think is pretty cool. So, we'll see what happens. So let me know in the comments what's your MMO of 2013. I would love to hear your feedback. You know, you can, I'll start a poll on my forums, and, you know, actually that would take too long. That's too many, so much shit. Just tell me what the fuck your MMO is. Jesus. Is Marvel Heroes an MMO? It kind of is, right? Because we're all playing together. Whatever, I got a shower. I'm smelly from the gym. Peace. Bow. Is this thing off? Ah, fuck.